Hey guys, Tbull here. Today I got a game in the Kutuzov for the Tier 7 Premium Russian Cruiser. We got Kuznetsov on the screen there. I want to talk about kind of game flow, reading the map, reading the flow of the game, and then responding accordingly. We got a domination mode, Tears of the Desert match. Now we got two destroyers on our team, one destroyer on the enemy team. You got to, first thing you should be doing in pretty much every match is evaluating the destroyer situation. If we're those destroyer players themselves, we got to recognize, okay, we only have two destroyers, we have three caps to cover. What's the best deployment? And that means spreading out. It for sure does not mean stacking those two destroyers in the same cap or the same zone. That would be disastrous. Ideally, for me, in my mind, I would go one to A and one to C. You can see we got the one spawn south of B. He's coming over to C. It's going to take him a little while, but this flank, it's kind of cut off with that vertical line of islands there. So if we don't have spotting that's inherently spawned over here, there's a guy backing up, by the way. No battleship can hit the opposing spawn when you spawn in this game. So do not back up. It's a foolish play. It makes you look goofy. And the people are talking about you behind your back. Don't do that. But getting back to the destroyer, he's coming over here. Going to take him a little while. So if he's not coming over here, we would recognize that. We would probably get into a defensive position, kiting position, where we're going to try and slow down the enemy team. We don't want to necessarily concede C for no reason. But since the destroyer is coming over here, we're going to be more of a kind of a hold this position, hold this line, and allow our ships to hopefully move forward, although there's no real reason that we would suspect these battleships to be moving forward at any point in time soon, let alone the entire game. And we do need to give the destroyer time to come over here. So point number one, if we're reading the destroyer's plays and we're responding to it. Now in this case, to recap, if we don't have the destroyer support, we're going to be setting up the play with the idea that we're going to bail out whenever it's possible. We're just going to slow them down. But because the destroyer is over here, we're going to try and support him as he moves into C and hopefully tries to contest that. Spotting has been a bit of an issue over here, and that's unfortunate because we've used the smoke, and the smoke is such a major part of the Kutuzov's, offensive suite or palette of tools, whatever you want to call it, I guess. Uh, but it is what it is. Anyway, Yamato moving forward, he must have shot, and someone's got a line of sight on him. But you can see there the C-23 is taking a lot of shots. Now I'm assuming he's getting radared by that Alaska that was over there as soon as they saw the base. I don't know how they knew he was over there. I can't really tell from this perspective. I thought maybe he got on the base, they saw it was contested, then he got radared, but that doesn't appear to be the case. So anyway, somehow he got radared, picked up. He lost half of his health over there, and then since the red team had the destroyer on C, we can assume that they're going to be responding to the situation. They know that the destroyer was moving over there. They also know that the guy lost half of his health. So if I'm that guy and you can see the red destroyer pops up there, I'm being very aggressive just like that guy is. So ends up being a Yodachi. He's moving in for the kill, and the Z-23 is trying to smoke. Now the Z-23 inherently has the advantage, the smoke sonar combination, but the Yodachi kind of is aware of where this guy is. I think he's getting radar again. I'm not 100% sure how this guy's been spotted the entire game, but it's costing him. It cost him his life there. He got torped by the Yodachi. Yodachi gets away. Yamato going down, though. So now this is the next situation we got to read. And again, we're primarily, in a lot of cases, going to be responding to the destroyers. We no longer have a destroyer in C, contesting C. We also have a bunch of backline Betty battleships that really haven't moved at all. They probably haven't even fired their guns yet this match. So those guys are extremely unreliable. Whenever you're presented with extremely unreliable teammates on a flank, you need to say, all right, this isn't going to work. We need to move on with our lives. At this point in time, we were probably going to die. You can see to our southwest on the map, we got a giant island, and we got a lot of enemy ships on our team spotting us here and shooting at us. So luckily for us, the destroyer comes roaring in, deploys the smoke. Unfortunately, it runs out before he kind of missed us with it, which is unfortunate, but it's an appreciated play. Normally, as a destroyer player, I would never smoke up a random player just because you can't really trust them to use the smoke. A lot of times you'll put down the smoke and then they'll either sail right through it or, they just won't understand how to utilize it. But we do luckily know how to utilize it. Unfortunately, it's going to take us a long time in terms of that smoke's duration to actually get in the smoke. And we took a few more shots. Maybe didn't need to shoot there. Was getting a little bit greedy, and it allowed them to return some more fire. And we're actually going to take more shots there. So that was a costly play to get in there. And you can see by the time we get in there, the smoke's down to 30 seconds. So that's 2 smokes that we're really not getting a lot of deployment out of. But once again, you know, it's a very, very strong play for a destroyer to smoke up a cruiser if they know how to use it and if they actually will use it. Okay, if you can give them basically cover where they don't actually need to hide behind islands, they have shots at anything that they can see. Essentially, very nice. You know, offensively, it's a major boon. But one thing you do want to be doing as a cruiser player or any ship that's really playing in smoke, you want to be moving back and forth, and you definitely want to be angled towards any torpedo threats. We don't have that luxury in that particular smoke. Now, we did wind up using our own smoke right when that Udachis did run out or dissipated. Now we deployed our own smoke. Didn't really have a lot of movement, though, so the cloud's not that big, and that's not going to give us a lot of wiggle room. Now, this smoke cloud's a little bit better in terms of the way we're positioning. The last one that the Udachi was, it was a very narrow smoke from our perspective because he was going north to south and we're oriented east to west. So we couldn't really move back and forth there at all. But number one, if you're sitting there dead in the water, especially broadside, you got torpedoes coming towards you, you're going to have a hard time dodging them. You're probably going to die. Number two, it's very easy to blind fire ships that are perfectly horizontal to you and they're not moving. So the movement makes it harder to kill yourself. It gives you kind of a running start to respond to any torpedoes, and it makes it harder to hit you with the main guns. Anyway, we've kind of cleared out B now. Okay, so we basically spawned on C. We're responsible for C. We played C until it was no longer tenable. There was no real there's no real work for us to do there. You can see the battleships still basically have not moved. They still probably have not shot more than once or twice this game. But we moved forward. We left C. We did our job on B. Help the team clear that middle flank out. We got control of B. Now our destroyer came over here to C. And we're coming back here to help support that destroyer. We want to make sure he gets that base. And we also want to make sure he stays alive. It's 1 destroyer per 1 destroyer right now. And again, a lot of the reading the plays in this game is understanding the destroyer situation and responding to it. So we're supporting the destroyer, we're supporting capturing the bases. Those are 2 great objectives that you can do at the same time. We're moving back here. I'm trying to find the destroyer or, at least get in a position to be dealing some damage since the majority of our team cannot do anything, and that continues to be the case. Note we're pretty well angled coming around this bend. We do spot the Odin there. Check his guns, they're not pointing directly at us. A toggle comes around simultaneously. Now he's got HE loaded, he gives us a pretty good whack there, but we immediately switch over to the AP since it's broadside, and you can see he's about 60% of his health right there. We get a pretty decent shot off, drops him down, and then the Yamato follow-up shot. Maybe the guy would have killed him even if we didn't hit him, but for sure the 2 of us combined together and whacked them pretty hard. So now we got 2 caps. We got the score advantage. We got ship advantage, 2 ship lead, 1 destroyer per side, and then the rest of the red ships are battleships. So we got 3 battleships. There are 2 battleships, advantage us. We got 1 cruiser to 0, advantage us, 1 destroyer per side, even. So that's part of the reading the play there. You want to evaluate exactly what's going on. You also want to be checking the relative health of your ships on your team, the enemy. I'm not doing a very good job of that in this particular case, but you'll usually see me doing that. Usually I'll lock my guns and try and look around, evaluate what's going on. Here we're being extremely aggressive. We got an Odin closing in on us. I want to keep him out of B, so I want to get, ideally what I want to do is stop right here and fire with those front 2 guns and just keep spraying him with that stuff until he decides enough is enough, turns away from B, and lets us rack up big time scores to allow us to win. We squeeze forward a little bit too far. The center of our ship becomes visible to him. That's where the line of sight is considered to be, from the center of their ship. Back up, drop spot again. This is definitely one of those fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, we can't get fooled again situations. I got away with that play right off the bat. And this Odin's temporarily distracted. He got it with a torp there, so I'm figuring he probably got a flood, and I'm trying to set him on fire for kind of a kill shot or a coup de grace. But once again, we squeeze forward here, and this guy's not having it. All right, so this is a play we constantly criticize. Usually it's in the context of like destroyers shooting at 50,000 health battleships with their guns, in open water situations where they're doing 500 to 1,000 damage every 10 seconds. And at the rate of fire they're going at, it would take them about 30 minutes to sink the battleship. Same deal there. What am I trying, in the destroyers case, I always ask, what exactly are you trying to do? Whatever you're trying to do, you can't do it. Same thing right there. Like, that was more of a viable play than open watering full health battleship and like a Fubuki or something like that. But still, we got the two cap advantage. We got the ship advantage. We're not required to push there. The Odin's closing in on me. The closer the Odin gets to me, the more dangerous it is. Yes, I'm trying to light a fire on him, but the guy's going down anyways. At that point in time, he's got 10, 20% of health. And you never know. When you leave your randoms alone, once you're dead, you don't know. Do they have the map awareness? Do they have the game awareness? Do they understand how to win games? You can't really rely on your team. And you can see now we're up 3 ships to 2. Our team does go on to win this. They do a great job closing it out, but it is a lot closer. And I'm always way more comfortable about my personal chances when I'm still in the match. So the moral of the story there was foolish play. I kind of get watching this back what I was trying to do, but high risk, low reward. Anyway, I thought that game was a pretty good look at kind of the thought process that goes behind reading the map, reading the game situation, and applying them to the actual game in terms of what you're deciding to do next. So those are both skills that take a lot of practice, but reading the map is something you definitely need to be working on. So anyway, that'll do it for that one, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you, and see y'all later. Peace.